how do you really know how many calories you should be consuming to lose weight? Back with us today is the fitness nomad, John Ashworth, to explain how to scientifically determine that number and set yourself up for success.
Right.
Good to have you in.
Yes.
This is all part of our 2-month challenge.
Right.
And the key, you say, is really looking at your resting metabolic rate. So what is that number and how is it determined?
The resting metabolic rate is the number of calories that your body needs to consume to sustain you at rest. And there's 2 ways to calculate it. You can calculate it by predicting it with a formula or by measuring it,
right,
like we did when you came into the studio.
And you say that if you do it by formula, your results might not necessarily be as accurate.
Right. So just as an example, I took the last 7 people that I've measured, and I predicted their number, and then I looked at their measured number. And in every case, the measures were off. Very often, the predicted number is far less than the actual measured number, which means you can eat more than you think, but that if you're working off of that predicted number, which many women in particular do, you can be way off in terms of hitting your goals.
And just to help you guys connect the dots, if you looked on my Facebook page last week, I posted a picture when we were doing that. It kind of looks like this funny mask.
Right.
I want to bring that graphic back up, though, for us, please.
Okay.
We ran my numbers, so we have this as an example. Once you have that number, how do you determine either how much you should eat to maintain or lose weight?
Okay. So on the left, you see the 1296. That's Lee's resting metabolic number. Then if we label her as a sedentary person, she's going to burn another 260 calories a day, and then roughly about 350 calories if she exercises. So if you're just trying to maintain weight, you add up those 3 numbers, and that's about where you need to be depending on your activity level. But if you're trying to lose weight, you want to shave that number back by an average of about 500 calories a day.
And I want to ask you, one thing we noticed that surprised me was that I was 1% below normal for my age, sex, all of those things. And while that's not a big deal right now, what does that mean long term?
Well, I wrote a story about this on my blog called The Untold Story, so if you want more information, you can go look there. But what it means is that today you're 1% below normal, but if you don't get going with the strength training and the good supportive nutrition that we've been talking about, by the time you're 35, you might be 3% below normal. By the time you're 40 or 50, you might be 10% below normal.
And then there's a lot more work you have to do to then boost your metabolism. John, thank you so much. If you'd like to learn more about resting metabolic rate or how to determine how many calories you should be eating, as John mentioned, he posts a blog regularly. We'll link you to it at NBC15.com. Just click on News Links.